So this here is a power station from a company by the name of NIUESS. Don't really know how to pronounce this thing. It says NIUESS. So is it NIUESS or NICE, or am I totally wrong? Not sure, but I'm hoping that they meant to spell it like this so it would say nice. So I hope this review is going to be nice. But anyways, this is the NIUESS Pro. This is the NE-700pro portable power station. I can't wait to tell you all about it, so make sure you stay tuned. So what makes this power station different than all of the rest of them on the market? Well, this one here has a different inverter technology where, you know, it's a 700 watt power station and it's rated to that 700 watts, but with the inverter technology, they've been able to fix it to where you can run, you know, heaters and things like that that are rated up to like 1800 watts. So, I mean, that's just unheard of. That's crazy that you could be able to plug in a 1500 watt heater into this unit and it would actually run it. So, but it does, it works. I've played around with it for the last few weeks. I just didn't pull this thing out of the box, and I'm viewing it for the first time. I've had it and I've been tinkering around with it, and so I just wanted to, you know, show it to you guys in the testing today. We'll hook it up to a heater and some other things and see what all it can run. First things first, I'm just going to get you some quick measurements. Width wise, it comes out to about 11 5/8, 7 3/8, and then to the top of the handle here, it's about 9 1/4 inches tall. And I wanted to also get you guys a weight, and it weighs 17.1 pounds. So I gotta say, the fit and finish on this power station is really nice. The thing is all plastic on the outside, and it just seems like it's very well put together. You know, some power stations, you know, where the joints meet, it's just, you know, there's a gap and all that kind of stuff, and it looks sloppy. But this one here, it looks of really good quality. Also, another thing that I like to do with the power stations when I review them is shake them, because I went to review a power station one time. I went to shake it and the battery was loose on the inside of it. It wasn't strapped down very well. So I like to give them a nice shake, and I don't hear any movement on the inside. If you heard a pop, that was my finger there. But anyways, the power station seems to be of good quality, and it's got some really nice features. So we're gonna run through these really quick. So we're gonna start right here with the on and off button, and the way that you turn it on is you mash it in and hold it for a few seconds, and then you'll hear the beep beep. If you don't like the beep beep, you can turn it off in the app. So I thought that was a really cool feature, because some of these power stations, they make a lot of noise, and if you're, you know, camping in a tent or something like that, you don't want to hear that the beeping noise whenever you're, you know, trying to be quiet. But like I said, you can turn that on or off in the app. And first thing that you'll notice is right here on the screen that it shows that there is time remaining, and since there's nothing plugged into it, that's why it's reading 99 hours or whatever. But then right here in the middle, you've got a 96% state of charge on the battery, and then right over here you've got your input watts and your output watts. Down here below, you've got your fast charging USB quick charge ports, and then you have 2 of those, and then you also have 2 of the USB-C 100 watt power delivery ports. And then right here, this button here is for your Wi-Fi reset switch. And then up here, you've got 2 ports. They're 55, 21 ports. There's 2 of them. And then you've got your cigarette lighter port here, and that thing is kind of stuck in there. You can close it up. Just keeps it protected for stuff getting down in there. And then the way that you would turn these little outputs on, and these are outputs. It says here in the manual that the cigarette lighter port, the 2 5521 ports, are shared by 2 channels. The maximum output current is 10 amps. Then moving over to this side, this is your light, and it's on low. Hit it again, you got high, and then you got SOS. And I like how it's built in like that, and it's not an actual button. You just mash that light to change the settings. So also, you can turn that on and off with the app, and pretty much everything you do with the buttons here, you can do it all in the app. The app is amazing on this. So we'll go over that here in a few minutes. I'll turn the unit over to the side, and as you can see, you've got 3 AC outlets right in here. And the way that you would turn those outlets on is you have a button right there, and you turn it on, and you can see that it lights up red. Now, one thing to note about these 3 AC outlets is you can see that all 3 of them are oriented in different directions. Now, turning the power station over to the back, you can see that it's got it's got these little raised areas here. You know, if you ever taken a power station camping, a lot of times when you just set it on the ground and you're up here, you know, it's kind of hard to see the display of what's going on. So a lot of times, you know, you just end up tipping it over on its back so you can actually see what the heck you're doing. And so I thought that was pretty smart of them to put those little raised plastic pieces on the back, so you know it's up off the ground. So on this end of the power station, you've got a little flap here. Now, this is probably not my favorite thing because, you know, you might end up tearing that off, but you know, it does provide you some information right in here and tells you what it is, and then there's a little bit more information on the inside of that flap. But you know, if you're standing up looking down, it's kind of hard to see, you know, what you're plugging into. But you know, it's not a big deal. You know, if this falls off, it falls off. But you know, for what this thing costs right now, it's normally like $599 or something like that, and right now they've got it on sale for $339. So I thought for $339, this is a pretty good deal. And so anyways, you can see right here that it shows you a picture of the style plug that you need, and this is the supplied AC charging cable. And you know, you can plug this into an AC outlet and it'll charge from 0 to 80% in about an hour. All right, so moving over just a little bit, you can see right there it says overload protection. And if you look in there, you've got a reset button. So if you was to overload the device, you can always reset it. It's pretty much just a resettable circuit breaker. So next up, you can see right here, you've got the solar car input. And when you lift the thing up, you can see there is a yellow XT60 port right there. And that port is rated at 25 volts, 10 amps max. So it says that you'll be able to run about 200 watts of solar. Now, I wish they would have moved that up a little bit so you could charge a little bit faster with solar, but it is what it is. It does come with an XT60 to a cigarette lighter adapter for your car. Now, you're probably only going to get maybe 150 watts out of it, no more than probably 200 watts maximum. Also, if you want to be able to use the XT60 to use your solar panels, then you'll have to buy a cable. And so I reached out to Amazon and got one of these cables, and basically what it is, it's just a multi-cable. And so you can see that there's an XT60 cable right there, so it'll plug in, and then it'll go to 2 MC4 connectors, so you can plug in your solar panel. And I'll put a link for this down in the description down below. And lastly, whenever you lift this up, you can see right in here that there is a little Phillips head screw, and that is where you would ground the unit with like a ring terminal hooked to a wire. So one of the other accessories that this power station comes with is an adapter here. It's for your barrel connectors. It's an adapter from a 5521 to a 5525, and so this is handy, you know, if you want to run like a CPAP or something like that. So this portable power station is supposed to be rated at 120 volts at 60 hertz, and you can see right here that it's at 119.4, close enough to 120 for me, at 60 hertz, and then it shows 60 hertz right there on the display. And then I went ahead and got the oscilloscope out. I'm going to probe it over here and check the sine wave. So we're going to go ahead and test that next. And yep, you can see right there, guys, nice clean sine wave. So I just wanted to show you guys that I went ahead and downloaded the app on the phone, and I gotta say the app is amazing. I've already said that, but I just wanted to say the app on this thing it tells everything you could possibly want. And so right here at the very top, it tells you your state of charge, and then you can get in there and control the light here on the front of the unit, and turn anything on and off that you can with just the buttons. And so it's neat to be able to do it wirelessly. And so right here you've got AC on or off, and so it's turned off. I'm fixing to turn it on. You can see the power is about to turn on right there. Heard a nice little beep. And again, if you don't like the beep, you can turn that off where it don't make any noise, but you see it lit up the watt meter there, and just tell you all the information that the display would tell you. So I think that's pretty neat. All right, so the next test is going to be to really put this thing through its paces. And so, like I said before, this is a power inverter that's rated for 700 watts, but it's able to power some devices that are all the way up to 1800 watts. Now, I'm going to go ahead and read it to you out of the manual so there's no confusion. It says the X-Turbo function is not suitable for all appliances, and some have power ratings that have strict requirements on voltage. Air conditioners and air compressors are not recommended to avoid damage to electrical appliances. It is recommended to use heating electrical equipment with a rated power of 700 to 1800 watts, such as hair dryers, electric kettles, coffee machines, and other equipment. So you can plug heaters, and if you want to plug in a coffee maker, then you can do that. And we'll plug a coffee maker here in just a minute and test it and see if it'll work. But first, we're going to test this thing, and we're going to use this space heater. Now that we get it plugged in, we're going to go ahead and fire it up. There's the wattage right there, 652 watts. And keep in mind, the heater is set on high. And you can see right there it says high, but it's at 656 watts, 660 watts, and I don't expect it to get up to 1500 watts. It's not a 1500 watt power inverter. It's capable of going up to 1800 watts, but it's not going to run things like heaters and things like that to the level of putting out 1500 watts. You can't squeeze 600 watts and make it 1500 watts. So you're not going to get full power out of this heater. It's only going to put out 669 watts right now. So if you plug this thing in and you're like, oh, well, this thing ain't getting as hot as it is when I plug it into the wall, well, that's because you can't squeeze extra power out of something that doesn't exist. Let's check the voltage though. That'd be interesting to see. Wow, 84 volts at 60 hertz. That is crazy. I mean, I just don't see how, I guess with heaters and things like that, it really doesn't matter, what that voltage is. I wouldn't want to plug anything that's real sensitive into this. I would only limit it to like a little cheap space heater, or, a cheap coffee pot, something that just has a heating element. And I wouldn't, try to plug in anything with high wattage into this that, nothing like a refrigerator or an air conditioner or nothing like that. So I wanted to show you the wattage one more time here on the watt meter, and it's at 665 watts. But then when you turn it around, you can see here on the front of the display, it's at 691 watts. So, it's not exactly 100% accurate, but you can see that it's still not putting out that 1500 watts. Guys, it's only going to be limited to 700 watts, because that's what it is, a 700 watt portable power station. I just wanted to clarify, because some people are going to be like, well, you can't do that with that, but yeah, it's just not powering it to its full potential. All right, so for the next test, we're going to be powering up a coffee maker. Now, I don't drink coffee, so I had to pause the video and try to figure out how to turn this stupid thing on. This is just a yard sale find. Like I said, I don't drink this stuff, but I know a lot of you guys do. And, it's not cool to have to tote around a 50-pound power station to be powerful enough to run a coffee maker. So I thought, if you want to take this little power station camping with you, I thought it would be pretty neat to be able to, brew some coffee and not have to lug around such a huge portable power station. So anyways, we're going to go ahead and check it out right here. It says it's using 667 watts. I can smell it already, just that quick. I can smell the heating element or something in there heating up. Oh yeah, I can hear it already too. It's already starting to gurgle a little bit. But it's, 667.5 watts. And here on the front of the display, it says 690 watts. So we'll give it a few minutes, and oh yeah, you can see right there, it's already starting to drip. That was pretty quick. So we'll check it with a thermal camera here in a minute, just to show you guys that it actually does get hot. We'll see for ourselves. This is the first time I've tested it with a coffee maker, so hopefully it works. Alright guys, so I gotta say, this thing is pretty impressive. I mean, literally, it hadn't taken but just a couple minutes, and this thing's already, brewing water because I don't have coffee in there. Like I said, I don't drink coffee, but you know, I wanted to check this thing with the thermal camera, and the temperature has been rising on it quite a bit. It's up to about 153.8 degrees Fahrenheit, and it's fixing to hit 154. So I mean, the temperature's just going up. So I mean, this thing is easily going to be able to brew the coffee in, you know, no time. So I got to say, I'm pretty surprised, you know, that it's able to do it so quickly. I figured it would take, you know, more time to do it than this. But another thing I wanted to mention is right here, you know, you can see that here on the app, it shows that the batteries, it's still 69% state of charge. And you can see right down here that it's using 703 watts. And it shows over here 683.6 and 703 right there. So, you know, it's pretty close. You know, who's to say this thing's exactly 100% accurate or this thing's 100% accurate? But, you know, I've been using these to test all my power stations. So, you know, that's what I go by. But, you know, seems to be doing a good job. So we'll come back here in a few minutes after that whole thing's been brewed, and we'll get some temperatures on the water just to show you guys that it can do it. All right, guys. So I've been sitting here staring at a coffee pot dripping for about 15 minutes now, and the joys of things that I do for you guys at home, so you don't have to test this stuff out. So, you know, if you appreciate this, come on, give me a like and subscribe. I mean, how boring is it to sit here and watch a coffee maker for 15 minutes? But anyways, right now I'm at about 168.4 degrees. So, man, this thing, it really heated up quite a bit. I'm gonna pass it off to my girlfriend, and maybe she can show you guys what it is on camera. I'll try to move this handle out of the way. That way you guys can see firsthand. Alright, so I just wanted to prove it to you. I'm going to open this thing up. Look at the steam coming off that thing. Woo, that was hot on them fingers. So, you know, if you're out camping, you know, you can have the best part of waking up. Folgers in your cup right here. So you can see it brew a whole pitcher of coffee or water. But yeah, it didn't take long to do it either. Like 15 minutes from start to finish, and it's, you know, it's pretty crazy. And you can see right here it's still using 686 watts, and according to the app here, 704 watts. And you know, running that thing at max like that, it ran the battery down quite a bit. I think the battery when we started was at 94%, and now it's at like let's see, 52%. So yeah, it dropped quite a bit. Anyways, that wasn't too bad. I mean, you know, less than 50%. I mean, is it worth 50% of this capacity to have some coffee in the morning? I'd say so. If it's important to you guys, that's what you want. So, yeah, not too bad. So you can see it turned off right here because it's already done. So it just turned itself off. On to the next test. To test the USB ports down here to see if they work, and also I like recommending these USB light bulbs here. These are from a company called VT Power. I've got them off of Amazon. I bought them with my own money, and I just love that they work so well. They both have an independent on and off switch, and you can hook both of them into one USB outlet if you have a splitter. And so down below I'll link these lights, and you can get like 4 lights with 2 splitters, so you can use 2 USB ports instead of 4. And I think it's about $28 somewhere in there. But the reason I always recommend these is because they only use 5 watts of power per light, and you can see how bright they are when you plug them in, and that's pretty amazing. I mean, literally, I know you got the light here on the front, but imagine, you know, if you went camping or something, or a power outage, and you needed some lights to light up a bathroom and a bedroom, you know, you could probably run an extension on these if you wanted to and light up different rooms. And so I thought that would be pretty cool. But if you're wondering how long it'll run these 2 lights, it says that it'll go 36 hours. But you got to keep in mind, that's only at 51% state of charge on the battery. So, you know, basically, let's just call that 50, and you double that, you would be probably 60, 70 hours of runtime just on those two lights right there. Literally, if you have a emergency or something, that's going to provide you with quite a bit of light, and be able to run for a couple days. So I didn't want to misinform you guys. I went back and looked at my notes. When I tested this before with just the regular USB ports, I got 15 watts. Now it says that you could get up to 24 watts. That would be the maximum speed, but I never got 24 watts, and then that was with a Z Fold 2 phone and with a Samsung Galaxy S22 Ultra. And so I also tried the USB-C cable here, and I have a cable here that tells you the amount of power going into the phone, and the most that I was able to get with my S22 Ultra that we're filming with right now was like 22 watts. Now right now I'm only getting, on her Z Fold 2 that we're using right here, I'm only getting like 11 watts. But again, I was able to get up to 22 on the S22 Ultra, but it says that it's capable of 100 watts output, so you could charge like MacBook Pros and some Android phones. And you've got to have the right cable to do it with. This here is the right cable, and I actually checked it with another cable that's able to produce that many watts, and I just couldn't get that many watts going into my phone, and I think my phone will go up to like 45, I believe. And so I just wasn't able to see those numbers, and so that's very typical with most power stations, but it is what it is. But they all work. All right, so another thing that you might need during an emergency, or if you're camping, if you're in a tent or something, it's hot, you might need a fan. Or if you're like me, I have to sleep with a fan next to me so I can breathe because I'm fat. But anyways, we're gonna plug this little PC fan that plugs into a cigarette lighter in. We're gonna plug it in, and we're gonna just turn it on, and we're gonna see how many watts it uses. I've recorded here on the side. You can see that I've tested it before, and it says 5 watts right there, but it says right here that it's using about 6. So that's pretty close. But you can see it's, there it goes up to 7. That's a long time to be able to run a fan, and then, you can run the USB lights over there, and, now you've got, creature comforts, if the power goes out or if you're camping. So that's pretty nice, and plus you can still charge your phones and do all that mess, and yeah, that's pretty neat. So in the manual it talks about these barrel connectors right there, these ports, and the cigarette lighter. It says the cigarette lighter output port and the DC 5521 output ports are internally connected in parallel with the same voltage and support a maximum current output of 10 amps. It can supply power for onboard electrical appliances and can also be used for 12-volt car battery charging. Alright, so I've told you guys from the very beginning you can control this thing with your app, and it works really well. But let's say you guys have noticed that the LCD screen there hasn't went off, and I've left it unattended. Well, you can go in here and click on the settings, and you can go here to let's see, the screen settings right there. That adjusts the brightness, and you can change that. Change it to where the screen never turns off like it is now, or you can have it turn off in 10 seconds. But you can control a lot of different stuff. You can update your firmware, and it'll tell you about it. Yeah, you can see right there, shut itself off, and your the beeps, and you can control the DC side, the AC side, and all that. So my only real complaint with the app is they ask for my email address. Well, that's one thing I don't like giving out. I don't understand why you need my email address to be able to turn the app on and off. So if that's a message I could send to NIUESS or NIUESS, whatever you call this company, that's one of my main things. I don't want people emailing me, and so far I've not had any emails. I turned all that stuff off, and so I didn't opt in for none of the the updates and all the things that you can. Don't. It's just a security thing. I'm not trying to be rude about it, but it's just one thing that I didn't like. This power station here has a UPS function, and so I'll go ahead and read it to you. The UPS function of the X Turbo system is entry level, not a professional level UPS function, and does not support 0 millisecond switching. Do not connect it to equipment that requires high uninterrupted power supply requirements, or please check for compatibility after multiple tests. Use such data servers and workstations. So what that means is, let's say you've got the power station here plugged into grid power, and the power goes out, and this basically can help keep some of your electronics from shutting down. Now, it says that it's just an entry level one. It says it's not the best. It says that it's only rated for 20 milliseconds. You know, it's a really decent power station. Now, are you going to be able to power your whole house with this and run the dishwasher and, you know, the hot water heater and your HVAC system? No, that's not what this is designed for. I would use this as just a backup to take the place of like a small generator or something in a power outage. But, you know, this could provide you, you know, lights and charge your cell phone and your laptop and things like that. And you hook it to a couple 200 or a couple solar panels and get a couple hundred watts coming in, and, you know, you should be good to go for the small stuff. And, you know, if you was to take this thing camping, you know, you can power a coffee maker in the morning. And, you know, I wouldn't try to power a heater with it because you're not going to get much runtime, but it can power a heater. So, you know, you're able to do quite a bit with this, with the way that this thing is set up. And I just really think it's a pretty nice power station. Like I said, the only real things that I've had, you know, complaint with is maybe the little door here. You know, it just, I don't like it, the way that it seems a little flimsy. It could be torn off. Don't really care about giving my email address. And, you know, other than that, I really don't have any complaints on it. It seems like a really nice power station. So I was digging around on their website, and I was looking for what kind of battery composition is inside this portable power station. And it said that it was, let's see here, it's a Ternary lithium battery. And, you know, I got to Googling it and was reading about it. And from what I've read, you know, the Ternary lithium does really good during cold weather, but not so hot when it's like extremely hot. So I wouldn't want to leave this thing in my car. And one other thing is the stability of this battery. They said make sure that you don't puncture it or put it in anywhere where it's hot, because that's one of the downsides to that Ternary lithium, is because if you was to puncture it, you know, it could catch on fire or something like that. And so you don't want to, you know, make sure you don't drop it and, you know, or roughhouse it. You know, obviously if you was to knock it over, it's not going to explode. But I'm just saying, you know, you don't want to break that case on there and rupture any of the batteries inside. Or, you know, like I said, leave it in a really hot car or something like that. But, you know, most of you guys have common sense where you wouldn't do something like that. But, you know, there's always a few out there. So, anyways, as far as the amount of cycles that this battery has, it's rated for 800 plus cycles. And then, you know, after that, you're going to be right at about 80% capacity. So, you know, the battery should last, you know, a pretty good while. And like I said, after you get through those cycles, you know, you're still going to have, you know, 80% capacity. That's still pretty good. Now, obviously, it's not going to be as good as like a lithium iron phosphate would be, you know, but, you know, it is what it is. So, anyways, gotta say, very pleased with this. Very pleased with the price. Like I said, this thing is on here for like $339 US. It originally is $559. I know that's just one of the things that every company says, oh, it was $560, but, you know, most companies, you know, drop the price down. But, you know, I don't think that's too bad for a power station of this size. You know, I think that's pretty good. And keep in mind, that is still a 720 watt hour capacity battery. So that is quite a bit of capacity. And so you're getting a pretty good power station. And if you pair that with that app, you know, I really like it, and I think you guys would too. I wouldn't recommend it to you if it wasn't something that I liked. If it was something that I hated, or there was a problem that I've foreseen, I'd tell you guys, this is not a paid review. Just wanted to throw that out there. They sent it to me to test, and I told them I would. And so it is what it is. There was no money exchanged hands. You know, they give me the power station just to review it, but they, you know, it's not like they give me any kind of script, and, you know, I would tell them where to stick it if they did. But, you know, they can't pay me to lie for them. Until next time, guys, thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe. Keep in mind, I sit there and watch coffee brew for 15 minutes, so please subscribe. I mean, gosh, who would sit at home and watch coffee brew just for you guys, just, so I could do a test to see if coffee would make in a coffee pot. Come on, guys. Give me a like and subscribe. All right. Talk to you guys later. See ya.